All right, well, we will get started here. Thank you for joining us. My name is Brandon Finley. I've been behind Sim Cemetery software for over 20 years and working for Rainmaker that long and working with cemeteries. And today is our first or our third burial search sneak peek webinar. Over the past few months, we've been working on a major update to burial search. That's the public portal many of our clients use to share cemetery records with the public. And we wanted to give our clients that are currently using this an opportunity to see it before it goes live, which will likely happen later this month. First, some notes for today. Initially, when attendees join, they're on mute. That's just to keep the background noise down. If you have a question, you're welcome to unmute yourself, or you can post a question in the Q&A or the chat. Thank you in advance for joining us today. And I want to remind everyone that this software, we're a few weeks from going live. It's still in the testing phase, so it is possible we may run into some bugs. That happens from time to time. So first, why are we doing this overhaul to burial search? Burial search was released in 2017 as an add-on to Sims so that they could share their burial records with the public. It's been pretty static since that time. We haven't made the huge investment in time to do an overhaul until recently. We feel we can make it easier to use and improve the look and feel of the software. And we also want to give our clients the capability to make changes to the way their data is presented to the public without having to make a phone call to us. So they can actually control more of that themselves, which they can't do today. We're hoping to go live with this sometime towards the end of this month, and it will go live for all of our clients at the same time. Who's the team behind Burial Search? There's joining us on the call today are Nathan Kavanaugh and Sarah Daly. Nathan's been with Sims since 2017 and has worked with hundreds of cemeteries and all kinds of different projects here. And Sarah joined us last summer, but she's been working in web development for over 10 years. And in addition to these two, there's a team of other folks behind the scenes doing testing and things like that. So with that, I guess we're ready to go. Let's take a look at burial search. I will hand this over to Nathan Kavanaugh.
Thank you, Brandon. Okay, just want to start off with a really brief look at what burial search is today. And this is our demo cemetery here that's showing the interactive map that users can click and drag around and zoom in and select. They have a search over here where it's set to search based off of last name. So if we do a generic basic last name of Smith, we can get back a listing of all of the burials whose last name begins with Smith. And then in the search results, we can click on the row that we want to see, and then the map is zoomed and the information for that burial is pulled up. When this was designed, it was designed with the Sims users in mind. It really wasn't necessarily designed with the end user, the cemetery, the cemetery's clients, not the cemetery's employees. And so we've decided to do an overhaul and make it more user-friendly, more geared towards the end user, and to try and also make it more friendly for them, but to overcome some other limitations that we have, such as you can only search on one item at a time. So if you wanted to know all of the Smiths who were veterans, it's not something that was possible currently. And various other items in the back end. Right now, these are separate code bases. So any new features or innovations that happen in Sims, they may not necessarily make it into burial search. And so we're going to bring that all under one roof so that it's all using the same code base. So let's pop over here and take a look at what we hope will be the new replacement here soon. And so this is what the new burial search is going to look like. So we still have the same interactive map that can be zoomed in and clicked on and hovered over. We now have a logo and a nice name of the title of the cemetery and a tagline. We start off with a quick search and then an about us and then some built-in canned searches as well. I'll go over those in just a second. So the quick search allows you to put in a name and hit enter or click the search button, and you'll get back the results of the matching ones there. And that match is done off of first name, last name, also known as name, and maiden name as well. As we can see here in the last result of the page, the name Smith doesn't appear here, but if I do pull that up, I can see that it is a maiden name. And going back to the home here, we can also do a search on, say, the last name of Moore, which I know this one has a few of them. One thing to notice is in this first set of results, we do these 10 at a time in order to make the search results run fast and smooth. But we do highlight the burials here of the search results on this page. And as we zoom in, we can see the highlight appearing a little bit better. And if we move on to the next page, it then changes the highlight to match the listing here. And then as I hover over, you can see the little pin appearing on the various different burials, indicating which one I have highlighted with here. And then again, of course, clicking on a result will pull up that space here and pull up the information that's listed along with any of their other medias that's available. You do have the same map tools that are listed here for zooming in, zooming out, getting back to the home view. You can zoom in as necessary and then click on a space to pull up the information. If that space, like this one here, has multiple burials in it, you will see those listed here one at a time. Or if you click on the exact burial, you'll get just that burial information. One thing I would like to point out here with this one is one of the requests that we have had is the ability in the media to display PDFs and not just images. And so we've added that in now. And so now here is a PDF that appears and then opens up pretty much the same as it does in Sims for the burial search. But we also have, again, include the images that can be clicked on to view the larger image as well. If a space that you have has more than 10 burials on it, such as this one, which is our test, but usually you would find that in a ossuary or a scatter garden where you, or just a large family plot with multiple burials on there. We treat those slightly different, that if that space is clicked on, you are then greeted with a drop down where you would then choose the exact burial that you are looking for. Otherwise, the loading of all of those could take a long time and make for a poor user experience. Going back here, if you need to do an advanced search, you can do so by clicking on the advanced search to switch to the advanced search view here. And then from here, you have your first name and last name separate inputs, but we can add in additional inputs such as veteran. And so now if I wanted to see all the Moores who were a veteran, I can do so by including those together and clicking on search. And now it filters it to just those. Date searching is greatly improved now as well too. So I can add in the burial year / date and add that in. And so now with the date searching, you can choose your comparison of equal to, not equal to, greater than or less than, and then you can choose a year. So if I wanted to see all the Moores who were veterans who were buried before 1990, I can do that now as well too. Or you can add in a full date as well using a date calendar or just typing the date in as well. You can remove any additional filters as necessary and set this up to do an advanced search as well. What we found, though, 90% of all searches are done with the quick search, just putting in a name. Now, you can also put in a first name as well, such as Edward Moore, and then we're limited to just the Edward Moore Sr. and Jr. And of course, we've made this smart enough to handle names that are entered in first name, or last name, first name, either with and also without the comma. So we hope that this will be significantly more user-friendly for the end users to be able to find the loved ones that they're looking for. And then, of course, once found, you'll have the options for Google navigation. You click on that, and then you'll get the driving directions here from the office to the cemetery. Let's put that into a satellite view so we can see that we get driving directions as close to the grave all the way with the walking to the exact location. Other items that we have been working on is to make this significantly more mobile friendly. And let me pull up my phone here and share its screen. And so this is our other test cemetery from here. And so we hope that this will be a significantly better view. We have a smaller map with everything else here, but you do have the ability to put your map into full screen mode. And then from here, we can select a space and then go out of full screen mode to view the details. And then we have the navigate to space where I can choose a Google navigation or the new walk to space. And then if I choose up walk to space, I have to allow my current navigation information and then just close that out. And now once it gets my GPS location, which is just slightly off the map there on our office, then from here, I can rotate until the arrows match up. And then I can see if I walk in the direction that I am facing. Now for 1,115 feet, I will arrive at the destination that I have selected. And I can see here on the map, the destination is highlighted.
And that will continue to update as you get closer.
Yes.
Hey, quick question from the chat. Will there be the option to keep PDFs private?
Absolutely, yes. Let me show you that real quick. So this is our the SIMS interface here, and we will zoom in on that space where I had the PDF shown. And so down here are the images, and this is the icon for allowing an image to appear or not appear in Burial Search. And as I move over to this PDF, you can see that there's this icon here now. And on this other PDF, that icon is red. But I could click the green to turn that on, and then come back to Burial Search here, and then we can zoom in and click. And so now we can see that there's the one PDF and then the other PDF. So you will have in SIMS the ability to turn them on and off as necessary. They will default to off, much like all media that is uploaded. So it is up to you to make sure to turn them on so that they will show up in Burial Search. Okay. And then that brings me to our next new feature that has been highly requested. In SIMS, sometimes cemeteries have burials that they have a record for, but they don't know the location where it is in SIMS. Or maybe they have a high-profile burial that they don't want to make publicly known the exact location of that burial. And so we have been requested the ability to hide certain sections, blocks, lots, or even individual spaces. So as we can see here, we have a section here, which is a test unknown section. We know there's a burial because we have a record, but we don't know the exact location. So we created a placeholder for this unknown section here. But I don't want this to be displayed in burial search. And so we now have the ability to turn on and off those sections here. So we can see that it no longer appears here in burial search. And up here, I have selected a lot that has disappeared. And over here, there are individual spaces that I have removed as well. And so you will have full control over that to be able to determine what is shown and what is not shown in burial search for you. Also, any space burial information that appears in these hidden sections will not come back in a search result either. Okay. All right, and then just to give a brief look at what our settings are going to be available to all burial search clients. In SIMS, you'll have under your utilities menu a burial search setting. And then this will open up a pop-up window that has all of the information where you can set the name of your cemetery. You can then upload a logo, choose your font that you want to use here, and then set the size, various other items. You can decide to hide or show items that are in your legend. Decide if you want to have our preset searches, and then here where you can set the hidden areas that are necessary. And then if you want to start hiding them or unhiding them, you can do so just by removing that and then saving your settings. And then if we go back and we zoom, and now we should have those appear again. The other thing that has been asked for is the ability to have a unique message for the various different statuses. So for the available status, if I click on that, I want to show this message. And so there's a standard setting for that. You can create a custom one if you want, or you can have no message appear as well. And so you'll have full control over that through your settings. So if I click on this available space, I can have the name of the space and what it's available and how much it's for. But if you don't want to show the cost, you will have the ability to turn that on and off. The same thing for a reserved space. It shows that the space is reserved, who reserved it, when they reserved it, and how long. And so, but again, if you don't wish to show that, you don't have to. And so there are a lot of options that we are opening up and making available that you did not have before, especially in choosing what is being shown with the information. You'll be able to select and unselect those and then be able to move those around. So if I don't want veteran to be the first item, I want that to show up under maiden name, we can drag and drop that and set that up as well. And then save the settings. And I'm glad that worked this time. And then from there, you will be able to move the information around here. Okay. So as to the timeline, we hope to have this out by the end of April. And what you will need to do on your end is absolutely nothing. All of the links and the QR codes that you might have, those will all remain the same. So there will be no changes needed for those. And before we do go live, though, a few days beforehand, we will send out an email to let you know that the change is going to occur soon. And so that's our sneak peek.
All right, well, great. Thank you very much, Nathan. If anyone has any questions, now'd be a great time. You can post them in the Q&A, or if you raise your hand, I will try to unmute you, although that's been a little bit challenging with some people for some reason. So, but we will be happy to give it a try. So if you have any questions, either post it or raise your hand. I see Marco.
Hello. Good
Hi,
afternoon. Or
Marco.
good morning, I should say. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. So just to confirm, the update is going to be for the public user interface, correct? Only?
Correct.
Okay, so on the admin side, that's going to remain the same as far as that interface and what that looks like, other than the under utilities being able to go in and customize this,
Correct.
I guess,
Yeah,
widget. Is that my understanding? Okay.
that is correct. The other minor change is the ability to turn on and off PDFs.
Very good.
On the
Okay.
ad. But
And
yeah.
then, so when it goes live, then is that, I'm just calling it the widget, the search widget, is that just going to be kind of like a blank canvas until we go in and update it with the information that we want?
So what we are going to do is right now, your burial search settings will be imported into the new burial search code as they are now.
Mhm.
So if I look here under the advanced search, so these we imported from our test cemetery. So these are the items that we made available that could be searched individually on the current burial search. And so I just went and imported these one at a time. And so each of these become an option inside of the admin side, inside of SIMS burial search settings, that if you decided that you no longer wanted to have a search by war or a search by married date, you can remove those yourself. And you can also add in other search items as well that you may not have offered when you first had your burial search set up.
Okay.
And
But
Mhm.
but as far as like the images, the logos and such like that, it won't have those until we import those or add those in, correct?
Well, any image that you have set up to appear in the current burial search will appear in the new burial search.
Okay.
So you won't have to go through and re-add those. But if there are PDFs out there that you wish to start showing, then yes, you would have to pull those up on a space by space basis and turn those on. If there is a large number of those and there's a discernible pattern that we can use, we might be able to write a quick script for you to take care of that, so you won't have to click on, a couple of hundred spaces.
Thank you.
All right, great. Good question, Marco. Another question that was posted in the chat. This is from Lorna. People have the ability to purchase flowers as part of perpetual care. Is there an icon that we can use to designate that on the mapping? I would suggest using one of the map features icons in SIMS Platinum and adding that to your map. There's like trees and shrubs and kind of some flowery looking ones. And if you don't see what you need there, let us know and we can incorporate it in a future update. But there's 25 or 30 different shapes, many of which related to vegetation. And do you have SIMS Platinum? You would know if you had a map like what Nathan's showing, a map that shows all your grave spaces. With SIMS Platinum, you can see all the spaces and burial shapes and all that kind of thing. About 70% of our clients have that. We also today have SIMS Gold, which is where you can place a pin on the map to represent each space, and SIMS Light, which doesn't have a map at all. And in addition, isn't there the icon at the top left in SIMS that tells what you're using, Nathan?
Correct.
Could you show that?
This icon up here that looks like the SIMS icon, if you hover over that, that'll let you know what product you're using. The other thing I wanted to mention is we will be offering a complete layers settings. Just like if you do have SIMS Platinum, you have your layers option up here that you can control the map in SIMS. You will now have a layer settings for burial search that uses the same interface, but it has its own separate settings. So if you wanted different colors to represent different spaces in burial search than you do in Sims, you'll be able to do that. And you'll be able to also not only choose the color for Sims, but you can also choose the labeling. And then as we can see down here, we turned off the map features, but we can turn those on and get those, of course, because that's a minor bug that we have to work on. But we should be able to turn on the items individually here so that you can decide what map features you want to show. Maybe you don't want to show various different items, but I'll just turn these all on and save this. And now if I refresh here, I have a bug because the trees aren't showing up.
I think this is because we're using the development environment.
You're right. You're right. That is the development server that does not update without a manual touch. So unfortunately though, but you will, when everything is live, be able to turn on and off specific map features. So you may not want to show all of the trees that you have, but maybe you want to show where the water spigots are so people can get water to and water their plants and flowers that they have from. Or you have other map features, as you were asking for, something to designate which burial space has the perpetual care on it and not. And so you will have that full control at your fingertips.
Okay, great. Good questions. Any more questions? I don't see any questions posted or any hands raised.
So
that must mean that you did a great job, Nathan.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day, and there will be more information to come. You'll receive it via email, just like you have so far. But we're really excited to get this out to everybody. It'll be just a few more weeks. So thank you, everybody. And with that, I am going to end the meeting.